Charles celebrating his 72nd birthday on Saturday, and that makes him the longest-serving heir to the British throne. My goodness, he's seen his fair share of royal family drama. Now, including his tumultuous marriage to Princess Diana, which is going to be played out in the Netflix Crown version of it, at least, in the new season.
Yeah, it starts this weekend. After the Queen announced plans to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee in 2022, some commentators are wondering whether, due to his age, the Prince should step aside and just let William succeed the throne when the time comes.
Historical consultant on the Crown and royal biographer Robert Lacey joins us now. Is this season going to be a bumpy view for Prince Charles? Because previous seasons of the Crown, I think, have done him justice because they've really explained a lot of things to do with, I guess, what he had to experience growing up and the way the life was for him, which maybe explains certain elements of his personality as we perceive from the outside.
Well, we made a great effort, and I'm only the historical consultant in a huge team on the Crown, I must make that clear. But we made a huge effort to understand Prince Charles, where he was coming from, with a view to what you've just been talking about, Ben, the fact that right from the beginning, it was likely that he would spend a long time in waiting, and so it has proved. But now, season 4, which starts this weekend, yes, it starts really the most difficult years in the royal family's modern life, the 1980s, the beginning of the marriage to Diana, the breakdown of that marriage, the role in it of Camilla, whom we've already met in season 3. And in any marriage breakdown, things get pretty ugly, I'm afraid.
It's been talked about before, hasn't it, Robert, that Prince Charles should step aside and let William take over. Does the Queen's announcement about the Platinum Jubilee and the fact that she's going to continue, does that sort of just underline the idea that maybe the right thing to do would be for William to pick up when the Queen eventually wants to sort of step down? Or is it the thing that Prince Charles has been waiting his entire life for? So regardless of how old he is, he should get that role?
Well, the Queen's Jubilee, for which we're all going to get 2 bank holidays in 2022, certainly shows that the Queen is determined to go on to, I think what one of you said earlier was the bitter end. Let's not hope it will be bitter, but I mean, there is such loyalty and respect for the Queen when we look to the future and say, well, who can duplicate that in the future? Could it really be King Charles III and Queen Camilla? Or would it not much better be William and Kate, who are already the focus of enormous popularity and are clearly stepping into the role of future sovereign? Having said that, we just saw this week, there are the pictures of it, Prince Charles. No, that's William we're looking at there, sorry. But we also saw previously Prince Charles laying a wreath on his mother's behalf. There's more and more that Prince Charles is stepping into the role of the Queen. This weekend, for example, he's going to Berlin for the very first time to represent the British state and monarchy at a German commemoration of the war dead. Now, that's just the sort of building of bridges that Prince Charles is good at. I myself don't think that he would willingly step down from the destiny he's waited for so long.
Well, the Daily Express says Queen's vowed to keep serving her country. This is revelations from aides, apparently, that they feature on their front page. Do you think there's an element in her decision and the announcement of that Platinum Jubilee, which seems the idea of those celebrations in the current climate we have seems so extraordinary, but also so needed? Do you think there's perhaps an idea that the Queen needs to be a stabilising force, that we don't want change right now of any sort?
Absolutely. And with due respect to the Daily Express, I don't think it's much of a revelation that the Queen is dedicated to serving her country. The Jubilee reinforces that. Yes, there were question marks, but the fact that the government is obviously making use of it in its own way too. This is a political use of the royal family to give us something to look forward to in the future. But why not? That we have 2 poles in our British constitutional system. We have the government that we elect, who make mistakes, and then we have the royal family, on the other hand, who've always been there. Some people say we shouldn't have the hereditary principle, but we do. They represent history, they represent tradition, they represent the values that we all agree upon. And it is enormously reassuring to see the Queen representing us at occasions like this. Here she is, for example, the first time we've seen her in a face mask, because she was going into Westminster Abbey to lay her wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The 100th anniversary of that, first initiated by her grandfather, wasn't it? King George V.
Well, look, we're going to leave it there, but it's great to get your thoughts on this, Robert, particularly on the sort of the advent of the new series of The Crown, which we know you are a historical advisor. It's going to be a fascinating watch, that one.
It's a luxurious watch, isn't it? I think we're all ready for it, but we also...
as you say, I think the last few series have been a real insight for... I was born in the 70s, Kate was born in about the 50s, but an idea of what some of the children that we've grown up, watching them grow up, and they're now grown-ups, with Prince Charles and the children of the Queen, actually had to go through, which we didn't understand and we didn't really appreciate.
Well, we hadn't even really heard of Camilla, had we? And then we realised very much part of his life.
So we're looking forward to that.
Lovely to chat to you, Robert.